Welcome back to Tape Don't Lie. Cam Smith and my man Tim Doyle. And Tim, we're going to keep it in Tucson, Arizona, and look at Nico Mannion's running mate, Josh Green. What stands out about this young man from the land down under, Australia?
Yeah, cranky for crying out loud. Both of his parents were professional basketball players in the great country of Australia, and he's trying to tell draft scouts and analysts to put a sock in it about his game. See, I got some Australian slang for crying out loud. I think this guy's a D3 type. He's crazy long. He's a great athlete. The former McDonald's All-American has a huge upside, and I think there's going to be some GMs that are drooling over his skill set.
Tim, let's jump into Josh Green's game. You mentioned that he's a McDonald's All-American from the country of Australia, but this game right here is where he put himself on the map for a lot of NBA GMs. This was the final game for Arizona in the Pac-12 tournament against Washington, where Green had 19 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals.
Well, this is the role they see him playing at the next level, that D3 type, where if you're one of those guys, you got to be able to make that corner three, because everybody's going pick and roll. And when you're playing with a point guard like Nico Mannion, you're going to see a lot of pick and rolls. So can you step out and consistently make that shot? Shot 36% from three. I would consider that above average. That's going to be his main part of really his pro career. Can he consistently make the shot? If he can, he's going to be a long-term NBA player.
Yeah, there's an old saying that patience is a virtue. So watching these clips, you see the patience of Josh Green, right? He's not upset because he didn't get the basketball in this situation here where his big didn't give him the ball initially, but he waited his time, stood in his spot, hands ready, and knocked down that shot. And at 6'6", 210 pounds, a 19-year-old having that type of NBA frame has got to be in the food.
Yeah, what are they cooking down there? I have been to Australia, all right? That flight is a doozy, to say the least. I think that's going to be a one-trip wonder for me. Talked about 6'6". He's got over a 6'10" wingspan. So that's what they really see. They know that defense is going to translate to the next level. But can he go out there and make this shot? I've played with pros that are D3 guys. It's kind of funny when you take them out of the pro game and they're playing with civilians. They just run to the corner. And I want to be like, dude, the guy guarding you is a dentist. Like, set a screen once in a while, cuts to the basket. But the game, especially at the highest level, the NBA level, is played like that. It's like, this is your role. This is what we need you to do. And also, you got to have a little bit in your bag. Like, you got to be able to put it on the floor a bit. And he's athletic enough, Green. Scouts kind of list him as a very good athlete, that you still got to be able, when the defense comes out and they're overzealous, take it to the basket and finish.
Yeah, it's just that basketball IQ, knowing that we've both played Tim at the college level and understanding, okay, well, if I can shoot the basketball and guys are running out at me, I'm able to blow by them like Green does on that baseline there. And again, it goes back to that frame, 210 pounds. You're not going to hit him with some contact and he's going to fall out of bounds. He's going to absorb that contact and still be able to finish. And that's another point that NBA GMs and scouts love about Josh Green's game, is that he can attack the rim and still finish with athleticism.
Yeah, I just think right now, if you want to play at the highest level, like, finishing is just a given. Like, if you can't finish, then you can't play. If you can't score in transition, you can't play. The fact that you can go out there and make a shot and he shoots it really easy from deep, couple that with his wingspan and the athleticism, and obviously a huge upside being 19 years old, sky's the limit for him.
Tim, we love playing with guys that love to run and transition and get buckets, and Josh Green is the guy for that.
Yeah, the game looks really easy for him, right? It never looks like he's kind of expelling too much energy, but when you're able to just go down the lane and hoof it like this, people are going to become aware of your game pretty quickly.
Yeah, this is what a lot of kids do in their backyards when they want to beat Josh Green, right? They try and just raise up and dunk it. They're not doing it on a 10-foot rim, obviously, because they're kids. But look at this when he grabs this rebound and the burst of speed. Now, he does this in 4 dribbles. And on that 4th dribble, that's an in and out move to rise and get to that launching pad and dunk it. That's what makes NBA GMs drool down their shirts and wanting this kid.
Yeah, you see the explosion, you see the length, and that is just a rip snorter of a dunk. See, that's actually 4 Australian slang terms, okay? That was a challenge
I'm
of
keeping
mine going
tabs.
into
I'm
this
keeping
segment.
tabs.
Having parents, both mother and father of Josh Green, that played pro ball, I mean, Cam, how big of an advantage of that is for Josh himself?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, both parents being professionals in Australia, but also a big aid to his game is playing internationally. Now, he played for the Australian senior men's national team, so he has that experience and learning under guys like Patty Mills, Matthew Dellavedova. And I went to his IG page, he's flicking it up with Ben Simmons. So he's got all the NBA guys around him, nurturing him, giving him jewels and dropping knowledge for him to be able to transition to the league. But when you talk about transition, it doesn't get any better than this. Again, a guy like Nico Mannion, knowing that he has Josh Green running, feeling that wing, he's going to dish it off, and it's going to be 2 points in the book every time.
Yeah, the game is really easy for him. Never looks like he's exerting too much energy. And you got to realize he's got to be a little bit intelligent because Ben Sims' off the court game is off the charts. I mean, he always Ben Simmons rather knows how to have a good time. Always looks like he's got a lot of fun around him. Maybe he needs to be working on his jump shot a little bit more, Ben Simmons, right? Because his off the court game is so off the charts. But you see Green once again pushing, getting out and athletic, finishing. Like I said before, if you're going to play at the highest level, you got to have this in your bag that you're able to finish with authority, finish with finesse, run the floor. These are all just musts right now, Cam. If you're a point guard, you're a wing player, or even if you're a big guy.
Yeah, you have to be able to have that within your game, and Josh Green has all of that. Again, another example of 4 dribbles in a crowd, getting out of that crowd and finishing at the rim with contact. Josh Green is going to be a nice player when he gets to the NBA. Tim, you talked about Josh Green being a 3-and-D guy throughout these highlights, but let's get into the defensive part of his game. And with that 6'10 wingspan at 6'6", 210 pounds, he's going to be a guy that can match up against a lot of forwards in the NBA and try and give them a little just resistance when they try and make their moves.
Yeah, I think this is his biggest skill set right here. And this is the thing that's going to easily translate over to the next level. Moving your feet, being physical. You know, I found it to be really interesting when I was playing against those professional teams down in Australia, how physical they were. Now, I don't know if you've ever watched Aussie League football. I don't understand where they score like this. I love when the ref goes like this, though. It means you've actually scored in Aussie League football. I tried to wrap them in like a parlay with like a tennis match, but that's a whole nother story, okay? These guys were physical down there. They were like elbowing me, and they were really physical inside the 3 that I noticed. So the fact that he grew up in Australia, I think he's not as scared of contact. Couple that physicality with the length to deny passing lanes, get out, make plays defensively. This is the thing scouts talk about the most with him right away, being an impact player. Do you have any comparisons when you watch him play to maybe a guy who's in the league now or a guy of yesteryear?
Yeah, one name that comes right to mind is Jay Crowder. And you talk about the toughness in Australia. There's nothing soft about Australia or the players that come out of that country, no matter what sport it is. And when I think of tough, I think of Jay Crowder in the NBA, a guy that's physical, has that strength, and understands passing lanes and his activity with his hands. And that's what Green does, especially this play here. This is where that 6'10 wingspan comes into fruition, where he's able to stunt inside that dribble lane and knock that ball away and gets himself out in transition. So that's who the person that I think of when it comes to who can he be when he gets to the NBA. Jay Crowder is that example.
Yeah, Jay Crowder, Cam's a great example of a guy who understands his role. I think that's what Josh Green is going to, have to translate to, is that D and 3 type. And that has really become like a position, right? It's like no longer are you like a small forward or a shooting guard. It's like, nah, you're a D and 3. Like, forget about 1, 2, 3s, and 4s anymore. Like, that's almost out the window at the NBA because, we watch the Rockets where they're playing PJ Tucker at 6'5" at center, and really depends on the makeup of your team and what style of play you're going to play. So you look at Josh Green, traditionally he would be like a 2, but now he would be almost like a 3/4, depending on what
Yeah.
team you're on. But his athleticism is elite, and that's going to make him a first-round pick.
You can make threes. You can play defense. You can have a long career in the NBA. And Josh Green will be able to have that when he gets to the right situation, that right franchise, and he'll be able to grow underneath those vets that he has. And this young man is going to be a nice pickup for whoever drafts him in the 2020 NBA draft.